network to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
JT and Cardi B were throwing shots at each other online. It started off because JT of the City Girls gave Glorilla props on her single Tomorrow Too, featuring Cardi B, but she never mentioned Cardi B. So people started pointing out the omission, and it just started going on this back and forth. And according to the tweets, at one point, I guess Cardi, because their fan bases are really the ones that start feeding and instigating.
Yep.
And of course, they caught the bait. And at one point, they were talking on DM, and they decided to go and post it on social media. Cardi calling JT a lapdog, and then it just got really, really messy. They started just going back and forth. And the funniest part about this that I was like, wow, while they're going back and forth, Nicki Minaj decides to change her main photo, her Avi on Twitter, to a picture of JT. I guess that's her way of taking JT's side. So Cardi wasn't done. Cardi goes and changes her Avi to a photo of Remy Ma.
Yo. BX in the building?
So petty.
What a mess.
I mean,
super messy.
I think it's all choreographed for the sake of, streams and songs and sharing and
that's
convo.
what you say about everything that
Until I
happens.
learn otherwise.
You think, hold on, real quick, I just want to play this out. You think Cardi and Nicki are in cahoots, or you're saying people are just willing to go do these things because they want to make noise?
I think the willing part.
Right, but not that they're actually working
Yeah,
together.
I don't know if there's okay, here's what we're going to do today.
I don't think it's orchestrated on that level.
No, I just think once it's going, they just be like, all right, we dancing today. Let's get it.
That I believe that. It's still not great, though. It's getting old.
Right. It's getting so old.
Well, for us, but clearly their fans eat it up, right? Apparently. Until the fans stop caring and their fans.
I'm going to tell you guys, these committed fan bases out here who are obsessed with the artist and agree with everything they do, those people are going to be the death of you.
Tell us why.
They may make you money and make your streams hot, but they will make you think that everything you do is dope and that every idea you have is good, and it may not be. They will support. We talked about this earlier, the blind support regardless. That's what these groups do. They just support, no matter what.
But this goes back to our earlier conversation, or even about religion, man. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about religion, when you're talking about all of this fandom, you know what I'm saying? Where there's clearly things, inconsistencies, improprieties, craziness, and nobody wants to be honest about it because they're so committed to whatever it is that's making them feel good that day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Look, we can say the same thing about football. People are committed to teams even though the team is the ownership and the this and the that and the blah, 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 and the crimes are being committed by players and, wow, but that's my team. People just want to be a part of something. That is a real thing.
We brought up Kanye West earlier with his White Lives Matter shirt at his Paris fashion show.
That's right.
And I guess he's reading all the criticism. He goes on his Instagram page and wrote, "Everyone knows that Black Lives Matter was a scam. It's over. You're welcome."
I don't know what that means, sir.
And now he is he's kind of targeting this black woman by the name of Gabriella Carifa Johnson. She's a fashion editor who I guess was at his show and was criticizing how dangerous it is that he's upholding white supremacy this way. So now he's taking screenshots of her IG and posting pictures of her, but you know what this means when he starts coming at someone, targeting someone, is for his fans to
attack her. Wait, but I thought her having her own opinion and thinking free was okay in the framing of Kanye and people who support free thinking. Is that not okay for her to have a differing opinion?
Bro, I can't.
I'm confused. But then hit me with the button for even trying to make it make sense.
Congratulations.
You're confused like the rest of us.
But then also for those of you, because there are a significant population of people who say Black Lives Matter was a scam. Why? Because the organization and its founder went and bought property that then does programs for young women and black people in Los Angeles, and they live at the property. Y'all have a problem with that?
But I really think that, okay, look, with all the different chapters that were popping around, they weren't all working together, right? We learned that afterwards.
That's right.
And yes, okay, there was mismanagement of funds, fine, right, on certain chapters. But the overall statement, okay, when you really think about Black Lives Matter, they just matter, okay? That's it. Not saying superior, not saying anything. It just matter because we see it every single day. Like we had this whole discussion about it earlier about black women constantly being ignored and dismissed and the police brutality we see towards black folks. To me, it's like, why is it still a conversation and why is it so hard to understand?
No, because everybody wants to play the oppression Olympics. And, unfortunately, in America, with this whole freedom of speech concept, people just come out and go, yeah, but what about me? What about ism? What about this? What about that? And many of them are false equivalencies when you're talking about black people and the murdering of black people and the fact that it hasn't mattered whether young black girls go missing. You don't see that on the news. You don't see the news cycle stop when young black girls go missing. Yeah, even right now, and we said this earlier, and I'm repeating it for those that just tuned in. Everybody's really hyped on this Jeffrey Dahmer series on Netflix. It's specifically about a white man killing black people and nobody caring. And now he didn't only kill black people. There were other people he killed. But predominantly, I think of the 16 people, 13 were black?
Something like that. It was a lot.
And the woman who could have stopped him was a black woman who basically was threatened that if she kept, complaining about him, that she was going to get arrested at one point.
Well, that's the thing. It's not only the lives that are lost, but the voices that are not heard, just not being listened to.
And why, Rosenberg?
Because they're black and from a poor community, the combination made them irrelevant in the early 90s and right now in many places.
Well, and even as we sit here and the world's up in arms about Ukraine, nobody is talking about the nations in Africa that are constantly having some sort of upheaval and issues, mostly due to pressure put on these countries by European nations. It's not even a part of the conversation. Because black lives don't really matter. So a slogan was made up to bring that conversation to the forefront. But Kanye just selling T-shirts, man. Kanye just out here selling T-shirts and keeping his name hot. And now he's bullying a black woman for having an opinion that he doesn't agree with. Yep. Same way he bullied his children's mother. The same way he bullied his children's grandmother. And then came back and apologized for it.
And this is all very post-Trump. Like, we now live in a time where if you have a following, regardless of who that following is or what you say, people will support you for being crazy. They do not care what's truthful. They do not care what's right or wrong. They're on your team.
Well, now, let's not say it's a new thing because you're watching Dahmer, who had fan mail coming in. People were supporting that man for being crazy.
I mean, no, listen, there have always been morons. Absolutely. I think now it's a little wider spread. Like it's on the internet, you can do it anonymously. It's a lot of effort to write a letter to Jeffrey Dahmer. You'd have to be really all the way psycho to do that. I think there are people now who can halfway do it with just a comment, a retweet. We got your back, yay. Why are they coming for you? But you're right. It's always been there.